The phrase that I wrote there was, a ship at sea can be steered, but a docked boat is immovable. And it's just, we got to get out at sea. And so let me just start with this. So, Jason, I don't know about you, but let me ask you this. What were you doing at 16? Okay. At 16, I was wondering and just kind of figuring out, how do I impress the ladies? How do I have tons of fun at school? And how do I basically do the minimum amount of work to still get by in high school? But that was not the case for the Australian Jessica Watson. You see, at 16, she had already been working 3 part-time jobs to pay for her dream, and to become the youngest person to sail around the world unassisted. And that unassisted is important because it means that it was a solo navigation. Okay, so she had to go on her own. She couldn't be helped physically. She couldn't have anybody on the boat with her. And she could have no external support with replenishing, repairs, physical guidance on the boat. And she could have no motor assistance. It had to be by wind or other natural sources that she could go. And this dream was birthed inside of her when she set out for her first junior sailing trip at the age of 12. You see, her and her sister were to go out and sail, but she got really scared and she was really nervous about it. And her mom pulled her aside, and her mom said this. She said, "You won't know what's out there unless you try." So she goes out and she gets all fired up about sailing, and she goes out to try and find a coach to help her to sail around the world, but nobody would believe in her dream. So she's searching around, and she finally runs into this guy named Ben, who is a rough and tough kind of sailor guy. And she tells him, she says, "I'm trying to get the experience to sail around the world, but no one will give me a chance." So Ben looked her in the eyes and he said, "So make your own chance." At that moment, Jessica knew that was her coach. It took her a little while to convince him, but eventually he became her coach. And the two of them worked together to prepare her and prepare her boat. And in September 2009, just weeks before this 7-month journey was about to take place, they did a test run. So Jessica and her boat, Pink, headed out for the test run. And just 20 miles offshore, Pink was hit by a cargo boat and suffered massive danger and destruction to the boat that really jeopardized the trip. But with the help of her supporters and sponsors and community, they were able to restore the boat and get it ready to go. But Jessica was still scared. I mean, she's only 16 years old. She's scared, and so her mom pulls her aside, and her mom says this: "It's when things go wrong that your true character is revealed. Right now, I am looking at a strong and tenacious young woman." So, on October 18, 2009, Jessica and Pink set out from the Sydney harbor. 12 days later, they passed Fiji. 33 days later, they passed Ecuador. And shortly after, they face a storm that threatens to take her off course and put her behind. But she decides to face the storm head on and get right through it. And she does. Day 50, she passes Africa. Day 82, they pass Cape Horn. And this is the fastest section of the course, with winds blowing them fast. But on day 113, Jessica hits the first day of no wind. She's stuck out in the middle of the ocean with no wind. And for 7 days, she's sitting there with no wind, no way of moving, no way of protecting herself, no way of moving forward. And this is what she wrote to herself. She says, "The truth is, living a dream is hard. I'm Jessica Watson. I'm tough and I'm struggling. Living my dream is hard, but it is worth it. Even the bad days. The world can be a tough place, but it's also really, really beautiful." That was a pivotal turning point, not just in her, but also in the trip. The wind begins to pick up and she begins to move forward. Day 186, the boat begins to suffer some leaks and water begins on board. She has to repair the boat herself. Day 197, a major life-threatening storm comes. And it would be worthy of her quitting and giving up on this trip. But Jessica and the help of her coach come up with a different plan. You see, learning from the previous storm, they decide instead of just hunkering down and anchoring and waiting for this storm to pass, like what they should do according to the textbooks, they come up with a new plan. They say, let's head straight into the storm and surf it. So for Jessica, for multiple days, this storm hits. On day 198, it finally comes. But for multiple days, they're treading through this storm. And on day 201 is the biggest day of the storm. The boat is leaking from multiple days of this storm pounding them. And a 70-foot wave takes Jessica and Pink way up and slams them back down the surface and pushes them down 15 feet underwater. Jessica has no communication. She has no way of doing anything other than to hold on, survive, not give up, and let Pink right size and float back up to the top, which Pink did. Jessica goes on to make her way all the way back on May 17th, 2010, which was day 210. Jessica and Pink drive right back into that harbor to see over 80,000 people there waiting to cheer them home. Listen to her speech. She says, "I'm just an ordinary girl who believed in her dream. You don't have to be anything or anyone special to achieve something like this. You just have to find your dream, believe in it, and work really hard." So, leader, I want to encourage you with this. You want to set sail next year? Well, you need a dream. You need a voice of encouragement. You need a crew. You see, even as a solo sailor, Jessica had a crew back home. And I love what John Maxwell says. He says, one is too small a number to achieve greatness. You need a coach. You need a destination. And you need the courage to set sail. So as we are here at the end of this year, preparing for the next year, where are you at today? Are you like the 12-year-old Jessica who is brand new in this journey that you've been thinking about? Or maybe you're looking for somebody to believe in this dream that you've had, but no one will believe in it. Or maybe you're like 14-year-old Jessica and you're working 3 side hustles to try and prepare and make this dream a reality. Or maybe you've already done a test run and you got banged up, you got hit by a cargo ship, and you're beat up. Maybe you're at day 197 and there's no wind. You've been just stranded there with no momentum, no wind in your sails. Or maybe it's day 201 and you feel like you're 15 feet underwater drowning. Wherever you're at today, I want you to listen to what Jessica had written on the side of her boat. She said, "Dare to dream." So, leader, I want to encourage you today as we prepare for 2024, dare to dream. You see, a ship at sea can be steered, but a docked boat is immovable. So just like Jessica, you have to set sail and listen to what Jessica's mom told her, because you won't know what's out there unless you try. So I want to encourage everyone listening today, wherever you're at, let's set sail. Let's set sail and let's go see what's out there.